What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Harrison Graham here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report, and we're going to break down the playoff picture after an epic win for the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. So let's go ahead and get on into it. The Chiefs currently have the number one seed in the AFC. Of course, New England and Tennessee still have to play this week, so if either of those teams win, they would re-jump the Chiefs. But for the time being, Kansas City has the number one seed. And either way, the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. They currently have a greater than 99% chance to make the postseason, and they have a very good chance of getting that number one seed. That's why the win over LA was critical. Number one, it basically gets rid of the AFC West. Chiefs are going to win that. Number two, number one seed, very much still a possibility. Kansas City just one win away from clinching a playoff berth. Honestly, with 10 wins, they're basically in. They just haven't officially clinched, but they're going to do that very, very soon. That Chargers win sealed the playoff berth, pretty much put the division away. That's why it was critical to win on Thursday Night Football, and boy, it was an epic win. Now, we're going to go through some different scenarios on kind of where the Chiefs stack up and the other teams in the mix for the number one seed, because I'm not going to focus on the Chiefs clinching scenarios. They're going to make the playoffs, greater than 99% chance, but we'll look at the number one seed possibilities. But before we do that, will the Chiefs get the number one seed in the AFC? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, just give me a Y or give me an N. All right, so I think it's down to four teams in the mix for that number one seed. You got Kansas City, who's currently on top at 10-4. You've got New England, who's there at 9-4. Tennessee at 9-4. Baltimore 8-5. All three of the other teams currently have the tiebreaker over Kansas City. So if they were to finish with, similar records like Baltimore and New England and Tennessee won the head-to-head matchup, of course, and Tennessee has the better conference record currently, or New England does currently. But especially Tennessee and Baltimore, you have to finish a game ahead. Like, if Tennessee and Baltimore go 12-5, Kansas City needs to be 13-4 to stay ahead of them in terms of the seeding, because they lost the head-to-head. Kansas City lost to Tennessee. They also lost to Baltimore earlier this season. And of course, you have New England in there as well. So you look at the Chiefs' remaining schedule, and we'll take a look at those other teams' remaining schedules as well and kind of see where things stack up. You play the Pittsburgh Steelers at home next week. That's a game you should win. Big Ben's not the same. That offense isn't great. Kansas City should get some defensive reinforcements back. Obviously, COVID has hit this team a little bit with Chris Jones, Willie Gay, L'Jarius Sneed's missed the last two games, dealing with that family situation. I expect all of them to return. At Cincinnati, at Denver, certainly possible you could lose any of these games, but you should be favored in all three. I think at Cincinnati is the hardest game left because they're the most capable offense led by Joe Burrow. But if you win all three games and go 13-4, you're going to be in a really good spot to get that number one seed. Of course, Tennessee and or New England could win out as well. We'll take a look at their schedules here in just a moment. Now, what is the Chiefs' toughest game left? I believe it's Cincinnati. You got Pittsburgh there. You got Denver on the road in Week 18, but the Chiefs have won 11 in a row against the Denver Broncos. If it comes down to winning that game to get the number one seed, I don't see them losing it. I'm going to say Cincinnati. Get your votes in. Chiefs' toughest game left on the schedule. Now, BetUS is our sportsbook partner here at the Kansas City Chiefs Report, and you can make money all season long. Producer Jeremy and I, we bet on the Chiefs, and it was dicey. They were 3.5-point favorites. You got to love the overtime touchdown cover. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Use that promo code Chiefs125. Put down $100. You'll get $125 for free when you get going with BetUS. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125. And by the way, we have some jerseys to give away for you new BetUS customers. We'll show a couple of them here. All you got to do, sign up, deposit a minimum of $100, and then place a bet on any game for any amount. And then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. to redeem. We got a Patrick Mahomes yellow jersey. We just showed you the Travis Kelce red jersey. We also have the Mahomes red jersey as well. Jersey@chatsports.com to take advantage of this jersey giveaway deal. Here are the steps for you guys so you can screenshot this. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125. Deposit a minimum of $100. You'll get that deposit bonus. Bet on any game for any amount, and then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We'll hook you guys up with a brand new jersey. Okay, the AFC playoff picture again. This is how things stack up. New England, Tennessee, Baltimore, the biggest threats with Kansas City for that top seed. I don't think anyone below that's catching up. Obviously, the Chargers, they would have to win out, and the Chiefs would have to basically lose out. And Buffalo has the head-to-head, so technically if they win out and the Chiefs were to lose out, they could get there, but I do not see that happening. Okay, Patriots. Let's take a look at them next, because if they win this week, they would get back to that number 1 seed. They play on Saturday night against the Colts in Week 15 here. That's a tricky game. Now, New England, like Kansas City, has won 7 games in a row. They started 2-4, now they're 9-4. Chiefs started 3-4, now they're 10-4. They also play the Bills in Week 16. That's not an easy game. They barely skated by last time. Crazy weather situation. That'll be a tough one. Jags at home, they'll likely win that one. At Miami, they've won 5 in a row. We'll see what happens there. They played a close game all the way back in Week 1. You feel like at Indy or against Buffalo, though, is the best chance for them to lose. Obviously, New England at the Colts this Saturday is a big one, especially for Indianapolis to stay in that wild card hunt. So we'll see what happens. I certainly think there's a good chance the Patriots lose a game, and if they do, that opens the door for the Chiefs to permanently jump them for that number 1 seed. Sub for Chiefs dubs. We're going to take a look at Baltimore and Tennessee in a moment, but it was an electric watch party on Thursday Night Football. It was, it's been a fun season. 7 wins in a row after a very dicey 3-4 start, and a dicey game that Kansas City ultimately found a way to win. You want more dubs? Subscribe to the channel. This is the time, because the playoff push is underway for Kansas City. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. We'll have you guys covered all season long. Okay, the Titans' remaining schedule. Week 15 at Pittsburgh, coming up on Sunday. We'll see that 50-50 type game. Tennessee's a better team, but it's in Pittsburgh. Tennessee's offense hasn't been the same without Derrick Henry. They could certainly lose that. They could definitely lose to San Francisco at home. The 49ers have been playing a lot better as of late. Dolphins at home, we'll see. Miami's playing better, but it is a home game. At Houston, I expect them to handle that game in Week 18. But those weeks 15 through 17, you feel like there's at least a good chance they're going to lose once, right? I think they're going to lose at least one game, because this team has not been the same without Henry. Now, there's some chatter that he could come back either for Week 18 or in the playoffs, but I don't think he's going to play either of the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see how that shakes out. But Tennessee, while they've been a really good team this year, they haven't been flawless. Like, New England handled them pretty easily a couple weeks ago, so I think losing one of these next 3 games is very much a possibility for the Tennessee Titans. Okay, let's look at Baltimore now. I'm not as concerned about the Ravens for a couple reasons. One, they're already a game and a half back now of the Chiefs. Could be 2 games back. They played the Packers at home. It is at home, but Baltimore hasn't been playing as well as of late. At Cincinnati the next week, that's not an easy game. They already lost to the Bengals 1. Then the Rams at home. Then the Steelers at home. None of those are gimmies. Now, they'll probably win at least a couple of them to get to 10 wins. But in terms of the number 1 seed, I'm actually not that concerned about Baltimore. They don't worry me. Chiefs should have beat them earlier in the year. They don't have receivers that can be super dynamic. The Chiefs have gotten a lot better defensively since that game. So if they run into them in the playoffs, I'm not concerned. And in terms of the number 1 seed and how they stack up with the Chiefs in this AFC playoff picture right now, I'm not concerned about Baltimore. I think they lose at least one more time. That would put them 2 games back. I think they probably lose twice. And then at that point, they could actually not win the division. It's possible Cincinnati or, hell, even Pittsburgh could steal that one. I would guess Baltimore wins the North, but I don't think they're going to get that number 1 overall seed. So we've shown the playoff picture a couple of times. We've talked about the teams in the hunt for the number 1 seed in the AFC. I want to know from you guys now, who's the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? Not just for getting the number 1 seed, but in terms of en route to the Super Bowl. Who do you think is the toughest team that could get in the way? I'm probably going to go New England, but we know Tennessee and Baltimore and Buffalo have all beaten the Chiefs this year, but a lot of those teams aren't playing quite as well, especially the Bills. The Chiefs and them have flipped since that matchup. Chiefs playing great, Buffalo not so much. All right, that's the updated look at the AFC playoff picture and where Kansas City stacks up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. We'll have you guys covered throughout the year. Fun game on Thursday night. I hope you guys joined us for that. More videos coming up early on next week, so stay tuned, subscribe, and don't miss it.